Coming up on 5 Minute News. Joe Biden affirms long overdue pick of black female justice to Supreme Court. Beijing curbs movement to fight COVID ahead of Olympics. And federal judge invalidates Gulf of Mexico oil lease due to climate impact. It's Friday, January 28. I'm Anthony Davis. The US president on Thursday strongly affirmed that he will nominate the first black female to the US Supreme Court, declaring such an historic representation is long overdue and promising to announce his choice by the end of February. In a White House ceremony marking a moment of national transition, Biden praised retiring Justice Stephen Breyer, who will have spent nearly 28 years on the High Court by the time he leaves at the end of the term, as a model public servant at a time of great division in this country. And with that, the search for Breyer's replacement was underway in full. Biden promised a nominee worthy of Breyer's legacy and said that he'd already been studying the backgrounds and writings of potential candidates. I've made no decision except one. The person I will nominate will be somebody of extraordinary qualifications, character, and integrity, he said. And that person will be the first black woman ever nominated to the United States Supreme Court. It's long overdue. Biden spent his first year in office working to nominate a diverse group of judges to the federal bench, not just in race, but also in professional expertise, and he had been reviewing possible High Court candidates along the way. He has installed 5 black women on federal appeals courts, where many High Court justices come from, with 3 more nominations pending before the Senate. He's had more judges confirmed in a year than any other president since Ronald Reagan. Breyer, in brief remarks, praised the miracle of America's constitutional democracy and issued a reminder to a nation riven by partisan discord and last year's insurrection at the U.S. Capitol that the government experiment is not yet over. This is a complicated country, he said. People have come to accept this constitution, and they've come to accept the importance of a rule of law. Beijing has limited the movement of people in more parts of the city, even as it reported fewer COVID-19 cases on Thursday to lower virus risks just over a week before the Winter Olympic Games begin in the Chinese capital. Beijing's Fengtai district said late on Wednesday residents in more areas should not leave their residential compounds for unnecessary reasons and must have a daily COVID test. The district, which has reported more local virus cases than others in the current outbreak in Beijing, had already locked down some compounds that house tens of thousands of people. Several other city districts have imposed mobility restrictions in certain areas. Although case numbers are low compared to outbreaks globally, China's practice is to immediately contain any outbreak. Containment of the coronavirus takes on added urgency as the Olympics approach and hundreds of millions of people are expected to travel during the Lunar New Year season. Beijing Olympics organizers said 23 new cases of COVID-19 were detected among Games-related personnel on the 26th of January, including 8 among those already in the closed-loop Olympics bubble and the rest on arrival at the airport. In Shanghai, a locally transmitted case of the Omicron variant was detected on Monday, state television said. The capital has found a total of 60 local cases with symptoms since January 15. Beijing officials have said most cases are the Delta variant, with a handful being the highly transmissible Omicron. At least 8 provinces, regions and municipalities in China have found locally transmitted Omicron infections, but totals for cases of the variant are unclear. Since the pandemic began, China has shut its borders to most international arrivals. Overseas arrivals typically must quarantine for at least 2 weeks when they enter China. A federal judge invalidated the U.S. Interior Department's November oil and gas lease sale in the Gulf of Mexico for failing to properly account for its climate impact, according to court filings from the U.S. Court for the District of Columbia. The federal oil and gas lease auction of some 80 million acres has generated more than $190 million, the highest since 2019, and drawn bids from U.S. oil majors including ExxonMobil and Chevron. The decision by United States District Judge Rudolph Contreras came after environmental group Earth Justice challenged the sale, arguing that the administration of President Joe Biden was relying on a years-old environmental analysis that did not accurately consider greenhouse gas emissions that would result from development of the blocks. "We are pleased that the court invalidated Interior's illegal lease sale," said Brittany Hardy, Earth Justice's senior attorney, in a statement. "We simply cannot continue to make investments in the fossil fuel industry to the peril of our communities and increasingly warming planet." The offshore drilling industry slammed the decision. Uncertainty around the future of the U.S. federal offshore leasing program may only strengthen the geopolitical influence of higher emitting and adversarial nations, such as Russia, National Ocean Industries Associate President Eric Melito said in reaction to the ruling. You can subscribe to 5-Minute News on YouTube with your preferred podcast app. Ask your smart speaker or enable 5-Minute News as your Amazon Alexa flash briefing skill. Subscribe, rate and review online at 5minute.news. 5-Minute News is an Evergreen podcast covering politics, inequality, health and climate, delivering independent, unbiased and essential world news daily.